You have a friend, smart, degree on the wall, good job, earns decent money, but every time you ask how things are going, they shrug and say the same thing. I'm okay, just waiting for things to pick up. Meanwhile, you know someone else. They didn't go to the best school, they don't have the fanciest title, but somehow they own property, the building savings, they sleep easy at night. And you're sitting there wondering, how? Because here's the thing nobody tells you. Intelligence and wealth are not the same thing. In fact, some of the most financially stuck people on the planet are brilliant. Doctors buried in debt, lawyers who can't afford to retire, engineers earning six figures and somehow still living paycheck to paycheck. So what is actually going on? Today, we're going to get into the real reason smart people stay broke. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you're going to look at money completely differently. Let's start with what most people believe. The common idea is that if you're smart, work hard, and earn good money, financial success is basically automatic. Study hard, get a good job, earn a good salary, and everything else sorts itself out. And on the surface, that makes perfect sense, right? But here's where it starts to fall apart. Think about a doctor who goes through a decade of training. They're disciplined, they're smart, they're earning more than most people ever will. And yet, study after study shows that a shocking number of high-income professionals are secretly struggling with money. Why? Because nobody taught them how money actually works. They learned medicine or law or engineering, but nobody sat them down and explained why earning more doesn't automatically mean keeping more. Here's the brutal truth. The education system teaches us how to earn. It does not teach us how to think about money. And that gap, that space between earning and thinking, is exactly where financial lives fall apart. Okay, so let's break this down properly. There are three hidden traps that keep smart people financially stuck. And once you see them, you cannot unsee them. Trap number one, lifestyle creep. Here's how it works. You're 22, you're earning $30,000 a year. Life is tight, but you manage. Then you get a raise. Now you're earning $45,000, and almost instantly your spending quietly expands to match. Nicer apartment, better car, more dinners out, subscriptions you barely use. Then another raise comes, and the same thing happens again. This is called lifestyle creep, and it is completely invisible when it's happening to you. The psychology behind it is fascinating. Our brains are wired to normalize. Whatever level of comfort we experience becomes our new baseline, our new normal. So the moment your income goes up, your comfort level resets, and suddenly the old life feels insufficient. The problem? If your spending always rises to meet your income, you never actually get ahead. You're running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. Smart people fall for this constantly because they justify it. I worked hard for this. I deserve it. And that's true, but deserve and afford are two very different conversations. Trap number two, the complexity trap. Here's something strange about intelligent people. The smarter you are, the more likely you are to overthink financial decisions. And overthinking has a cost. A person who reads one simple book about index funds and starts investing $200 a month at 25 will almost always end up wealthier than someone who spends years researching the perfect investment strategy but never actually pulls the trigger. There's a psychological concept called analysis paralysis. It's what happens when the brain has too many options and too much information, and instead of deciding, it freezes. Smart people are especially vulnerable here because they feel like they need to fully understand something before committing to it, which sounds responsible. But when it comes to investing, waiting for perfect information is the same as doing nothing. And doing nothing has a very specific price tag. Because of compound interest, the process where your money earns returns, and then those returns earn returns, building exponentially over time, every year you delay costs you more than the year before. The simple investor who starts early and stays consistent beats the brilliant investor who waits for the right moment every single time. Trap number three, status spending. This one is the most psychologically deep. Humans are social animals. We care deeply about how we appear to others. And in modern society, one of the loudest signals of status is what we own: the car in the driveway, the watch on the wrist, the restaurant we eat at. The problem is that a lot of what we call success is actually performance. We're not building wealth, we're performing wealth. There's a line that cuts right to the heart of this: spending money you don't have on things you don't need to impress people you don't even like. Smart people are not immune to this. In some ways, they're more susceptible because social status matters deeply in professional environments. There's pressure to look the part, to drive a car that matches your title, to live in a neighborhood that reflects your education. And so money that could be building long-term freedom gets spent maintaining an image of success today. Here's the deeper idea that ties all of this together. Most people treat money as a reward. You work hard, you earn it, you enjoy it, which is completely understandable. But wealthy people, the ones who genuinely build financial freedom, treat money differently. They treat money as a tool, and there is a world of difference between those two mindsets. When money is a reward, you spend it. When money is a tool, you deploy it. You put it to work. You let it build things. There's a concept in psychology called delayed gratification, and studies on this subject are fascinating. People who are able to resist the immediate reward in favor of a larger future reward consistently end up in stronger financial positions over their lifetimes. This is not about being cheap. It's not about never enjoying your money. It's about understanding that every dollar has a choice to make, and you're the one making that choice, whether you realize it or not. Here's a way to visualize it. Imagine two rivers. Both start at the same point. One runs fast and loud and feels exciting. That's lifestyle spending. The other moves quietly and steadily, building in volume over time. That's compounding wealth. At first, the loud river looks more impressive, more fun, more alive. But over time, the quiet river becomes unstoppable. The people who understand this early, regardless of their income, end up with real freedom. The people who don't, no matter how much they earn, stay on that treadmill forever. So what do you actually do with this? 3 things, simple but not easy. First, build the gap. The most important number in your financial life is not your income. It's the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is where wealth is created. Protect it. Grow it deliberately, and don't let lifestyle creep quietly erase it. Second, start before you're ready. Stop waiting to understand everything perfectly. Open an investment account. Put in what you can, even if it's small. The cost of waiting is always higher than the cost of starting imperfectly. Time in the market is worth more than getting the timing right. Third, separate your identity from your spending. This one takes the most work, but start noticing where you're spending to feel successful versus where you're spending because it genuinely makes your life better. Those are 2 different things, and the first one will drain you quietly for decades if you're not paying attention. You do not have to look wealthy to become wealthy. In fact, the data consistently shows that many of the wealthiest people live in ways that would surprise you. Driving normal cars, wearing ordinary clothes, making low-key choices because they understand something simple. Real wealth is what you don't see. It's options. It's freedom. It's the ability to say no to things you don't want.
This car trouble just
Here's the thought I want to leave
budget.
you with. Staying broke is not always about ignorance. Sometimes it's about the systems we've been handed without ever questioning them. The idea that more income automatically means more progress. The belief that looking successful is the same as being successful. The trap of feeling like we need to understand everything before we start anything. Smart people stay broke not because they lack intelligence. They stay broke because intelligence alone doesn't come with a financial blueprint. But here's what's also true. The moment you understand how money actually behaves, the moment you stop treating it as a reward and start treating it as a tool, everything changes.
You don't need a higher salary. You don't need a financial genius IQ. You need to see the game clearly and start making decisions that your future self will thank you for. Because the gap between who you are and who you could be financially, that gap isn't talent. It's not luck. It's not even income. It's information. And now you have it.